Welcome to the very final leg of the Heart of England Way. We've parked here in Bourton-on-the-Water. We're going to walk up to Hyde Mill where we left the Heart of England Way last time, and then we'll walk the last few miles back to the finish, and that'll be the end of the whole 100 and something mile Heart of England Way experience. I'm going to show you more of beautiful Bourton-on-the-Water when we return, but we're going to head out on the Oxfordshire Way down there. Okay, go, go, you can go. Although we're just still on the outskirts, as you can see, of Bourton-on-the-Water, we're already in the Greystones Nature Reserve. And as you can see, views already over the Cotswold hills. First bit of water of the day. So I don't know if you'll pick it up on the microphone, but that tree is full of birds. Come on, boys. So this is where we are. I'm not actually sure which bit of the map we're on. There we go, this is the Nature Reserve. And we are going that way. So that was the River Eye. There are stepping stones, but I went over the bridge because I would probably fall in. And Vinny, the little bull mastiff or whatever he was, big staffy that the boys met, he's gone back with his owner the other way. I think this is the River Dickler again, which we are just crossing over. The Dickler is a lovely spring-fed wild trout stream that flows for just 12 kilometres through the Cotswolds. Although we're quite early into this walk, this already feels like the most wonderful way to finish the Heart of England Way. I mean, I know we're not on the Heart of England Way at the moment, we're doing our return leg, as it were, but we've walked through a beautiful nature reserve. There's been some streams, little rivers for the dogs to walk through, and it's absolutely beautiful. And to think we started back in the winter up at Cannock Chase in Staffordshire, and here we are early autumn at the end in the Cotswolds. Colours of autumn. This is the village of Wick-Rissington, where we will be leaving the Oxfordshire Way, which as you can see goes right, and we're going to go left down that way. Oh, that Land Rover's just gone. So you can just about see down there the 30-mile-an-hour sign telling you you're coming into Wickrington. Wickington. Yeah, don't try and say that if you've not used to it. And then we're turning, we did 200 metres on the road. And now we're back on the fields. As you can see, it's very level walking back across these fields. Now my mapping on the app showed that we keep going that way to join up with the old railway line. But it says that there's a private sign and it shows the footpath goes this way. So hopefully we'll be able to get back on track. So we're sort of walking parallel to where the app thought the footpath was. It thought it was in that field. But the signs definitely tell us we have to go here, so we'll work it out. So I just had a quick look on Street Map, just to check we'd end up that we could go in the way we thought we would. But actually, it's definitely will get us to the point we wanted to be on. So, and they've marked, all the gates you can go through are marked with this yellow paint, which is quite handy. We're going to carry on up that way, though, the looks of it. So if you're thinking of walking the Heart of England way, there's another channel called Webby's Walks who's also walked the whole route. And what I enjoy about his walks is he inevitably gets lost, only briefly, on nearly all the walks he does. So I feel like I'm following in his footsteps by not being on the path that I'd mapped out, which turns out not to have been a footpath anyway. And hopefully we are on the right path. We will get to the Disused railway line, which is the point we're heading for. But as I say, I recommend his channel if you want to see another view of the Heart of England way. So I've just zoomed in because there is a magnificent house up on that hill surrounded by woodlands. I don't know what it's called, but isn't it lovely? In the meantime, we're walking alongside what looks like a sheep field, and I can't see any sheep in it. And all the fields we've walked through before were obviously cattle fields. I've just put Danny on his extendy lead, just because you never know when sheep are going to appear in the Cotswolds. So this oak tree is fascinating. It's obviously in good health. They leave leaves and acorns, but it's obviously completely burnt out in its centre. So we can go a little bit closer. You can see straight through it. The dogs think there's something to investigate. I suspect this ground could be a bit marshy, wet underfoot in winter. It's absolutely fine now, but looking at the type of grass that's growing. So, and up ahead, this is the Disused railway line. I will put on the screen where this old railway line went, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Bourton somewhere. So once we cross this field, oh, we are back on the correct route now, by the way, or the mapped route. We will be just going on the Foss Way for a little bit. I'll make sure I share the correct route in the description and not the one I originally plotted. So sheep ahead. Oh, I would show you both dogs. Dogs on leads. So we've walked up the Foss Way, up to these traffic lights, and then the footpath actually follows this road to Hyde Mill, and that's where we're going to rejoin the Heart of England way. So it's not that route, that's private. Down here. Look at the beautiful colours of that tree there. So we're just following this road down to Hyde Mill. You can just hear the Fossway, the noise of the Fossway in the background, but look at that. I love autumn. And what a beautiful driveway. Are they lime trees? I think they are. Anyway, we can't go that way, so we're just going to turn off this way. Right, back on the Heart of England Way, our very last section. Bit of a moment to reflect that we've done, you know, Cannock Chase, we've dropped through Lichfield, Kingsbury Water Park. What did we go after there? Don't know, kept going south, lots of HS2. You might remember me ranting about that. And then we dropped down to Henley and Arden, Ulster, and then joined the Cotswolds, and we've been slowly making our way south through the Cotswolds ever since. That's the most unusual style I've ever seen. You going through, Bailey? Go on then. Go on, ups. I believe this section we're on now is called Soft Meadows. Presumably it gets quite soft in the winter. You can see there's some quite reedy looking grass over there. And obviously back on the Monarch's Way again. And obviously gate not particularly in use. The next one is obviously cattle land. We're very lucky, we've not really seen any cows. I'm not sure I could have really picked a better day to walk this final leg. It's perfect. It's not, I love autumn anyway, but it's not too hot obviously, but it's also, I've got a thin fleece on and I'm not cold at all, and the colours are beautiful, and yeah, we're really enjoying it. So we've come across all those meadows, and this is now the Lower Slaughter cricket grounds. And behind it, hopefully behind those nets, you can see the village of Lower Slaughter itself. This beautiful orchard, and this is the main information board I've ever seen about the Monarch's Way, explaining the part of the route. So this is section 23 of the Monarch's Way. I don't know how many sections there are. Oh, there you go. That map sort of shows you. Sort of go up and down and back on yourself, and down to the south coast and then back up again, and eventually you end up in Brighton, or Shoreham by the Sea in fact. Maybe one day.
The Grade 2 listed Church of St Mary has its original 13th century arcade, but has also had a Victorian makeover. The river running through the village of Lower Slaughter is the River Eye, which, presumably before it was channelled, created the muddy ditch or slough from which the modern name of Slaughter evolved.
I'm not sure Bailey is very happy that we've left the river, which does go to Bourton. Danny was not brave enough to get in with him. So we're quite close to the foss now, as we just walk through the fields of this equestrian centre. Foss is up ahead, so boys will need to go back on the leads again in a minute. If we can find a dog-friendly pub, and if we can try some Hawkstone Brewery offerings. So that's the Foss Way again. So this, almost the last bit now of the Heart of England Way, is the avenue. So we're in Bourton-on-the-Water, walking past the rugby fields. And actually, even when we've reached the end point, I hope there's a little marker post or something, but anyway, once we've reached the end point, we'll just have a little bit of a look around Bourton-on-the-Water as well. And this beautiful church is the Church of St Lawrence. It's gravestones even this side. Well, I think St Lawrence's Church must mark the end of the Heart of England Way. There's no signs, but this seems to be, from my calculations, where the path ends. So we'll go and explore Bourton-on-the-Water. If you've enjoyed this part of the walk, don't forget you can go back and check all other 31 legs that we've walked, starting at Cannock Chase, and let's go and see what Bourton-on-the-Water's got to offer us. Obviously very busy. It's a Saturday, full of tourists. I'm slightly disappointed there wasn't a sign or a plaque or something to note that we'd finished the Heart of England Way. I mean, Bourton is crowded, it's full of tourists. It's probably the most popular Cotswolds village, and you can see that it's absolutely heaving. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to give myself a little fanfare anyway, because Bailey, Danny and myself have done the Heart of England Way.